Guess what? I'm in Canada. I'm recording this book review in Canada. I'm in Surrey right now. And I just finished up Grave Peril by Jim Butcher. And I don't know if you can hear me because I am trying to be quiet because I'm at my aunt's house in Surrey, Canada right now. And we're going to go to Vancouver tomorrow. So I don't want to wake anyone up. But I just finished this book. And I'm going to tell you all about it. I really hope that you would subscribe as I'm trying to grow this channel from TikTok into YouTube and trying to have like a cool balance between the two. But yeah, this book, oh my God. Oh my God. Let me tell you, the jump in quality from Full Moon to this is astonishing. Like, I think that the first two are good on their own. They're just vastly different. Like, the first two feel like noir movies. Like movies that you would watch in the 40s and 50s. They're set up like that, and they're kind of framed like that. But with this, it feels like it's actually leaning into the Dresden Files and all the humor and the fantastical elements and all the, what's the word? The mystery and the humor and like all this stuff. It is making it so fun and so funny to read this stuff. Like that's something I appreciated. The humor really got an upgrade in this. Like there are so many moments where Harry will just like throw out a snarky comment to his friend Michael, and Michael Carpenter, best character. He seems like a character that you'd hate because he's like such a freaking Boy Scout. But in this world, he is kind of needed. And Susan, I was never the biggest like Susan fan. I thought she was just a blank blah character, like, oh, just a generic love interest. But here, there's like a whole plot that does revolve sort of around her. And again, Michael, his character, his introduction was so perfect. He was and him and Dresden go into the hospital, finding the ghost and figuring out what happened, and then flashing back to the Never Never and figuring out that it was the vampires that were behind it. It was fun. And I will say, the vampires themselves, I'm hoping that later on down the series, post 2005, post 2008, like when the Twilight craze happened, that Jim Butcher pokes fun at the hot vampire trope, because I swear every single vampire in this is so sexy. They're all hot. And I appreciate that. And the chapter in the middle where there's a chapter in the middle where where his disguise is revealed. I won't say who, but his disguise is revealed, and everyone's just like, oh my God, it's him. Like the announcer actually says, oh my God, it's him. Like it's just thrown out there. And it's just paragraphs and paragraphs of buildup. And it's just this, it's like a mini Sanderlanche of humor. Another thing I want to say is that something I noticed in this wasn't in the last book, but in this book there were little moments of like little brief descriptions of characters, and there was one for Karen Murphy, which, I mean, I didn't need it. I knew Karen Murphy. I remembered her face. I remember what she looked like. But it was so nice to have that little reminder of who she is for those that like go in between or just like take long breaks between these, which I don't blame people for doing that, but honestly, this is funny. And I will say the one thing I wasn't the biggest fan of was the ending felt a little dragged, like a little dragged out. Like the previous two were 300 pages. This one was like 400. And I feel like that could have been trimmed a little bit. And Bianca was a very fantastic villain. I'm so glad that Jim Butcher didn't try to shove in Marcone again, because I didn't like the fact that Marcone showed up in Full Moon. Granted, he was a minor role, but still, I don't like recurring villains if they have like no growth. And that's what I thought Marcone was going to be, and I'm so glad he wasn't. And Thomas and Michael and all these new characters that like all the fantastical elements is building up. This is a series that I think is deserving of the highest of praise. Although the world building for the Never Never, the little alternate world, could have used a little bit more. I do think it could have used a tiny bit more, because an alternate dimension underneath Chicago, like in an alternate Chicago, I'll say, could have used some fleshing out. But yeah, that's my review. I'm giving this the highest of 9 out of 10. 4 stars. Amazing. This is where it hits its stride. The second two are good. This is where it hits its stride. And yeah, that was amazing. And I'm going to say this, my next read, Dungeon Crawler Carl 3. I know I made a video saying like, oh, I'm done with Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I stuck out. I'm going to read the third one. I don't love that I have to. I'm not excited to hear it from the fans, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick it out because I have it in my briefcase over there. And then after that, Dawnshard and Warbreaker. I have decided to shove in Warbreaker in between Stormlight. I guess I'm like that.